Good day, this is Lamilla, and on behalf of my colleagues, I would like to present some of the results from the evaluation of green algae Ettlia oleoabundans grown under different conditions as food source for freshwater bivalves. With the decline of native freshwater mussels and the threat that the invasion of other species represents, the research aimed to enhance the culture, propagation, or stock improvement has become a priority, and finding adequate diets plays a fundamental role for the captive breeding. Several studies have shown the importance of microalgae as food source for freshwater mussels. Consequently, identifying suitable food sources for bivalve captive breeding and examining the diet's nutritional value is also very relevant, more so when a natural food source such as a river or a pond is not available. Accordingly, the production of unicellular algae is a key aspect in the breeding of filtering organisms. Currently, about 40 microalgae species are used as feeding source to fishes, mollusks, echinoderms, crustaceans, and zooplankton. The most commonly used genera of microalgae are Chlorella, Tetraselmis, Isochiris, Pavlova, Phaldodactylum, Ketocerus, Nanochloropsis, and Skeletonema. And the majority of the produced algae biomass is destined to feeding mostly the global supplies of marine bivalves, with freshwater animals receiving much less attention. From a nutritional point of view, the quality of microalgae as food source for freshwater bivalves depends on many components, such as essential fatty acids, proteins, vitamins, sterols, and carbohydrates, and studying the changes in the algae biochemical characteristics resulting from the culture condition in an easy, replicable way could derive an effective method to formulate better and more nutritious diets. The green algae Ettlia oleoabundans was the selected species to test the effect of 3 different culture settings on the overall well-being of a total of 48 subadults and 480 juveniles of Synanodonta woodiana. This species of algae was identified before as suitable food source for juvenile unionoids, and on the screen, you can see some of the authors that have used Ettlia as food source for that purpose. Responses to certain growing conditions are often species specific. However, it is well documented that the chemical composition of microalgae is influenced by factors such as light, salinity, in the case of marine or brackish species, temperature, and nutrients or addition of certain compounds. The experiment was divided into 2 stages. The first one involved the algae culture, paying special attention to the value-added components derived from the culture conditions, while the second stage was centered on the feeding test itself. The culture was grown on a 10-liter photobioreactor under 3 different control settings and maintained on Gilead's F2 media. While for breeding the bivalves, we used a PFT system capable of feeding 96 beakers individually, in which 2 different mussel rearing control temperatures were also applied, allowing the quantification of the effects of the diet components and their rearing temperatures without the influence of a common holding. In total, we had 48 subadults and 480 juveniles of Synanodonta woodiana, and the food stock was maintained in an aerated food reservoir at 4 Celsius and changed daily, while the algae suspension was automatically delivered on the multi-reservoir feeding system every hour. We also measured the accuracy of food delivery every morning by measuring the food volumes in the food reservoirs. After carrying out a two-way ANOVA on density, volume, and air weight gain, the preliminary results for the subadults didn't show any statistically significant effects of diet nor beaker temperature on neither of the mentioned measurements. In the case of the juvenile animals, for the preliminary results, we did a two-way ANOVA on the survival rate and the average growth, but diet type and beaker temperature, and we found a statistically significant effect of beaker temperature on the average growth, as well as a statistically significant effect of the Ettlia treatment over the juvenile's survival rate. Finally, I would like to mention that other response variables are currently being analyzed, including, for example, the exact biochemical composition of the algae resulting from those special culture settings. And hopefully with these results, we will contribute on improving the diet under captive conditions. And thank you very much for your attention.